England's 500th Test cricketer lost everything because selectors made one cruel decision. The story of Norman Cowans is cricket's most brutal example of how quickly dreams can turn into nightmares. A fast bowler who rose from the streets of Jamaica to become England's hero, only to have his international career destroyed by a medical condition and heartless cricket politics. What happened to this talented man will make you angry at the system that chews up players and spits them out without a second thought. Norman George Cowans was born on April 17, 1961, in Kingston, Jamaica. His early years were spent in the cricket-mad Caribbean, where every boy dreams of bowling fast and taking wickets for the West Indies. But when Norman was just 11 years old, his family made a life-changing decision to move to England, settling in Harrow, North London. This move would shape his destiny in ways nobody could have imagined. Adjusting to life in England was tough for young Norman. The weather was cold, the culture was different, and cricket was played in a completely different style than what he knew in Jamaica. But his passion for the game never dimmed. At his new school in Harrow, he convinced his teachers to organize cricket practice sessions for the first time. This was the moment when everyone realized that Norman had something special. His natural pace and aggressive bowling style caught attention immediately. Norman wasn't just fast, he was genuinely quick with a smooth, rhythmic action that generated serious speed. His nickname, Flash, came from his ability to bowl thunderbolts that batters could barely see, let alone play properly. From the moment he started playing organized cricket in England, it was clear he had the potential to play at the highest level. The journey from school cricket to professional level was remarkably quick for Cowans. By 1980, at the age of just 19, he was playing for Middlesex County Cricket Club, one of England's most successful teams. This was a huge achievement for any young player, but especially for a Jamaican-born immigrant who had been in England for less than a decade. His raw pace immediately made him a key player in Middlesex's attack. Middlesex in the early 1980s was a powerhouse team filled with international stars and future legends. Playing alongside world-class players like Mike Gatting, John Embury, and Phil Edmonds taught Cowans valuable lessons about professional cricket. He learned how to handle pressure, how to bowl in partnerships, and most importantly, how to take wickets when his team needed them most. His county cricket performances were outstanding from the very beginning. Cowans was taking wickets consistently against some of the best batters in English cricket. His pace was genuine, his line and length were improving rapidly, and his competitive spirit was obvious to everyone who watched him play. England's selectors couldn't ignore a fast bowler of his quality for very long. The call-up to the England team came in 1982, just 2 years after his county debut. At 21 years old, Norman Cowans was selected for England's Tour of Australia, one of the toughest assignments in world cricket. This was the moment he had dreamed about since convincing his teachers to start those cricket sessions at school. He was about to become England's 500th Test cricketer, a historic milestone that would be remembered forever. His Test debut came at the Waka in Perth, known as one of the fastest and bounciest cricket grounds in the world. For a young fast bowler making his international debut, there couldn't have been a more intimidating venue. But Cowans thrived under the pressure, bowling with pace and aggression that troubled Australia's experienced batters. He belonged at this level, and everyone could see it. The breakthrough moment of Cowans' career came in the Boxing Day Test at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in 1982. This match would become legendary for one of the closest finishes in cricket history, and Norman Cowans was right at the center of it all. England needed to bowl Australia out cheaply to have any chance of winning, and their young fast bowler stepped up magnificently. Cowans bowled with incredible pace and accuracy at the MCG, taking crucial wickets when England needed them most. His figures of 6 for 77 in Australia's second innings were sensational, dismantling a strong Australian batting lineup with raw pace and determination. This performance helped England win by just 3 runs in one of the most thrilling Test matches. ever played. Norman Cowans had announced himself on the world stage. The celebrations after that Melbourne victory were unforgettable. Cowans had played a starring role in one of England's greatest overseas victories, and the cricket world was talking about this exciting young fast bowler from Jamaica. At 21 years old, he looked like he could be England's pace spearhead for the next decade. Everything seemed perfect for his cricket career. But professional cricket is never as simple as it appears from the outside. The physical demands of fast bowling are enormous, especially for someone bowling at genuine pace like Cowans. The constant pounding on hard surfaces, the stress on joints and muscles, and the repetitive nature of fast bowling takes a terrible toll on the human body. Norman was about to discover this harsh reality. During the mid-1980s, Cowans began suffering from a persistent hernia problem. This wasn't just a minor injury that would heal with a few weeks' rest. Hernias are serious medical conditions that can cause constant pain and severely limit athletic performance. For a fast bowler whose livelihood depends on explosive physical movements, a hernia is a career-threatening problem. The medical understanding of sports injuries in the 1980s was nowhere near as advanced as it is today. Players were expected to play through pain, and admitting to serious injury was often seen as weakness. Cowans tried to manage his hernia problem while continuing to play international cricket, but the constant pain was affecting his bowling performance and his mental state. Despite his medical problems, Cowans continued to be selected for England throughout 1983 and 1984. His pace was still there, but the consistency and stamina that made him special were being compromised by his ongoing health issues. He was fighting a losing battle against his own body, trying to maintain international standards while dealing with constant physical discomfort. The 1985 Ashes series against Australia was supposed to be Cowans' chance to reclaim his place as England's premier fast bowler. He had managed his hernia problem through the winter and felt ready to bowl at full pace again. The first test at Headingley in Leeds gave him the perfect opportunity to show that he was back to his best form. England won that first Ashes test by 5 wickets, an excellent start to the series. Cowans bowled well enough, showing glimpses of his old pace and aggression. But the England selectors had already made up their minds about his future. Despite the team's victory and his reasonable performance, they decided that Norman Cowans would not play another test match for England. The decision to drop Cowans after the first test of the 1985 Ashes series was one of the most brutal and short-sighted moves in English cricket history. Here was a bowler who had been instrumental in famous victories, who had genuine pace that England desperately needed, and who had just helped win a test match. Yet the selectors decided his international career was over. The official explanation was that Cowans was being rested or rotated, but everyone knew the truth. The selectors had lost confidence in his ability to stay fit and bowl consistently at international level. His hernia problems, combined with the natural wear and tear of fast bowling, had made him unreliable in their eyes. At just 24 years old, his England career was effectively finished. The psychological impact of this rejection was devastating for Cowans. He had worked his entire life to play for England, had achieved success at the highest level, and then had it all taken away because of a medical condition largely beyond his control. The selectors showed no loyalty to a player who had served England well and could have served them well for years to come. What made the situation even more frustrating was that Cowans continued to bowl effectively for Middlesex after being dropped by England. His pace was still there, his wicket-taking ability remained strong, and he played a key role in Middlesex's continued success in county cricket. He proved repeatedly that he was still good enough for international cricket, but the England selectors never gave him another chance. The mid-1980s were glory years for Middlesex, with Cowans playing a crucial role in multiple championship victories. The team won the county championship 4 times during his career, along with several limited overs trophies. Andrew Miller of Cricinfo described him as an integral member of the most successful Middlesex team of all time. But these domestic successes couldn't replace the international career that had been stolen from him. As the years passed, it became clear that the England selectors had made a terrible mistake in discarding Cowans so early. England struggled to find consistent fast bowlers throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, often relying on players who were clearly inferior to Cowans at his best. The very pace and aggression that England needed was playing county cricket, ignored by the national selectors. The waste of talent in Cowans' case was particularly tragic because fast bowlers of genuine pace are so rare and valuable. England had discovered a bowler who could trouble the world's best batters, who had proven himself in pressure situations, and who had the mental strength to perform on the biggest stages. Yet they threw all of that away because of short-term fitness concerns. Cowans' quote, "Story reflects the harsh realities of professional sport, where careers can be ended by injuries, politics, or simply bad timing." His hernia problem was manageable, with proper medical care and smart workload management, but cricket in the 1980s wasn't sophisticated enough to handle these challenges. Modern sports science might have extended his international career by many years. The financial impact of losing his England career was also significant for Cowans and his family. International cricket provided much better earning opportunities than county cricket alone, especially for fast bowlers who were always in demand around the world. Being cut off from this income stream at such a young age had long-term consequences for his financial security. Throughout his remaining county career, which lasted until 1993, Cowans continued to prove the selectors wrong. He picked up a sum of 532 first-class and 212 List A wickets, impressive numbers that showed his consistent effectiveness over more than a decade of professional cricket. These statistics represent hundreds of batters dismissed by a bowler England deemed not good enough for international cricket. The treatment of Norman Cowans became a symbol of everything wrong with English cricket selection during the 1980s. Talented players were discarded too quickly, loyalty meant nothing, and short-term thinking dominated long-term planning. Other promising players watched what happened to Cowans and realized that international careers could disappear overnight, regardless of past performances. The broader impact on English cricket was also damaging. By discarding proven international performers like Cowans, England weakened their bowling attack unnecessarily. The team's struggles against quality batting lineups throughout the late 1980s might have been very different if they had retained the services of a genuinely fast bowler who had already proven himself at the highest level. Looking back at his brief international career, Cowans' statistics tell the story of massive unfulfilled potential. In just 19 test matches, he took 51 wickets, including that memorable 6 for 77 at Melbourne. His career bowling average of 34.22 was respectable for a fast bowler of his era, and his strike rate showed that he took wickets regularly when given. The opportunity. The personal cost to Cowans of having his England career cut short cannot be measured in statistics alone. The boy from Jamaica, who moved to England and worked his way up to international cricket, had his dreams shattered by a combination of injury and administrative incompetence. The bitterness of what might have been followed him for the rest of his life. In recent years, Cowans has worked in cricket development and coaching, trying to help young players avoid the pitfalls that destroyed his own international career. His work includes diversity schemes aimed at giving young players from all backgrounds a pathway into professional cricket. He understands better than most how quickly cricket dreams can turn into nightmares. The lesson from Norman Cowans' story is that talent alone is never enough to guarantee a long international cricket career. Politics, injuries, timing, and pure luck all play crucial roles in determining which players succeed and which ones are forgotten. His career serves as a warning to young cricketers about how quickly everything can change in professional sport. Modern Cricket has learned some lessons from cases like Cowans, with better medical support, more sophisticated injury management, and hopefully more thoughtful selection policies. But the fundamental challenges remain the same. Fast bowlers still get injured, selectors still make harsh decisions, and careers can still be destroyed by forces beyond a player's control. The tragedy of Norman Cowans is that his story could have been so different. With better medical care, more patient selectors, and a bit more luck with injuries, he could have been one of England's great fast bowlers. Instead, he remains a cautionary tale about wasted talent and missed opportunities, a reminder of how cruel professional cricket can be to even its most gifted performers. Norman Cowans' journey from Jamaica to England, from schoolboy cricket to international stardom, and finally to premature rejection, represents everything beautiful and brutal about cricket. His story reminds us that sporting careers are fragile things, built over years but capable of being destroyed in a single moment by people who never have to face the consequences of their decisions. Subscribe to discover which England legend's career was destroyed by an even more shocking betrayal.